Hey, this is Riley. I am here today to show you how I built my fence. This was my first time ever building a fence, and it's not perfect, but it keeps my dogs safe, so I wanted to go ahead and just kind of talk through the process because it was a big project for me. I was very obsessive about how I was going to measure it out perfectly and create 90-degree angles, so I did buy some string line to do that and then mark the posts with some spray paint for where the holes were going to be beforehand. I ended up, once I had some people out here, we kind of just eyeballed it, and I think it turned out fine. So if anything, you don't have to obsessively make it straight. Just use your best judgment. So this fence is about 300 linear feet. I have a half-acre backyard. So the material cost ended up being about $3,000. I went to Menards to get my materials, pretty much told them what my measurement was, and then they were able to do the calculations of how many boards I needed, how many 2x4s, 4x4s, etc. So once I got my lumber, the first thing I did was I got a team of people together and we set posts. So we have posts every 8 feet that are, the posts are 8 feet tall, but when you dig a 2-foot hole into the ground, that gives you a 6-foot post above the surface. So I ended up renting an 8-inch auger to do these holes, which was great because it was so much faster. I did a two-person auger, don't want to say two-man, and that made it nice and steady. So the first day we got all the posts set. We made sure they were super leveled, double, triple checked that they were 8 feet apart. So that took pretty much an entire day because of the length of my fence. So then the following day, I got out with the 2x4s and did rails from each one. I did them behind the post, and they meet in the middle. So unfortunately, even though we double triple checked, there were some spots that weren't actually 8 feet. So I did have to do quite a bit of cutting, and some areas we ran into roots, so I had to make longer sections. You can see they meet here in the middle, and they're pretty close. For this, we did a measurement of 8 inches from the bottom for the bottom rail, and then 8 inches from the top, and then we kind of split the difference for the middle. Some of the rail, or some of the posts didn't end up being the same height, so if I was to redo that, I would just do 8 inches from the bottom and then do a slightly different measurement for the top and the middle. So some of our rails are a little wonky, but they're all good. So hung all the rails with my fiance. That took us a couple days. You kind of need 2 people to do it, at least to steady it. And then over the course of like a week, I put up all these pickets, and they're a little crazy, but they pretty easy to install. I ended up using screws, so I did 2 screws in each picket, and took me a hot minute, but got it finished.